Excessive coughing and dead fish like this one are just signs that red tide concentrations are high. There's nothing more frustrating than packing up your car and heading to the beach only to find it lined with dead fish, although that's just not the case today here at Barefoot Beach. We haven't seen this in a couple months. It's crystal clear. This morning, several of them were out here bright and early catching fish just like this one. You can take their word for it. Here's a closer look at that water that I just picked up.
Janae, it was pouring in your live shot at 5 o'clock. Do you notice a difference with the ditches?
We definitely do, Chris. The weather has calmed down significantly, but take a look at this. The ditches are already doing the job and keeping the water off of the road. Now, traditionally we call it the live drive, but today we're going to call it the dry live because I am happy to be staying dry. But let's get you a look at the roadways right now. You can see the rain really coming down. We are keeping up with Tom Kelly, who's in his 100th race. Tom, how do you do this?
You walk fast, that's all.
The biggest backup was right here at Old US 41, which they just crossed about 5 minutes ago. But now all roads are open except for Wilson, so if you're trying to head to the park, you might have some trouble. She hit this power pole right here, just knocked it clean off the base. And then about 15 yards later, she was in the water. You can wear light-colored clothes, especially when it's dark outside. You can also use a reflector or some type of flashlight to make sure that cars can see you. After piecing together all the evidence, they believe they have enough to prove premeditation in the April murder that happened right in this room, leaving behind a crime scene so horrific that a grand jury has decided to raise the stakes.
Right now, this woman accused of murder in Minnesota is now wanted for a Fort Myers Beach murder. Deputies say Lois Reese is armed, dangerous, and on the run. Lake County deputies say she killed 59-year-old Pamela Hutchinson.
Now take a look at the two women side by side. They obviously look very similar. Deputies say this may be why Reese targeted Hutchinson. Wink News has team coverage on this case as it unfolds across multiple states. But first, let's head to Wink News reporter Janae Muchmore, who's live on Fort Myers Beach, talking to people who knew the victim and someone who found himself in the middle of a crime scene. Janae?
On Tuesday morning, room 404 here at the Marina Village condos became the scene, or what was filled with detectives, because it was the scene of a horrific crime.
She loved fishing, she loved boating, she loved the beach.
Making Fort Myers Beach the perfect place for 59-year-old Pamela Hutchinson to escape the hardships of a recent divorce.
A friend of hers had hooked her up with a timeshare in Fort Myers.
Hutchinson was in room 404 at the Marina Village condos, a room that soon became a crime scene.
And she had decided to stay an extra night. And I guess that was to her demise, unfortunately.
Although the condo has secured doors, many are wondering how the suspect, Lois Reese, was able to get in the room with Hutchinson.
I don't know if she maybe, got her at gunpoint somehow. My thought is she had been watching Pam and knew that Pam was alone.
Maybe just met this woman and just became friends with her, invited her back to the room to be friendly, and unfortunately, she obviously picked the wrong person to be friends with.
While relatives say Hutchinson was a friendly person, it's not like her to invite a stranger into her room.
But she robbed us and a lot of people of a very sweet soul.
Now, relatives tell us that Pamela Hutchinson might still be alive if she hadn't decided to stay an extra night. And deputies say that the suspect, Lois Reese, stole her car and may have left the area. So now we turn to Nicole Valdez, who is live at the Lee County Sheriff's Office. And Nicole, what have deputies told us so far?
The goal is to launch the app for all Lee County schools before classes start. But who has access to this information? Wink News reporter Janae Muchmore is live at the bus depot at 6 Mile Cypress with the answer. Janae.
Well, Lois, the good thing is there are security measures in place. All parents will be required to enter their students' ID information, which will only give them access to their assigned bus routes. And coming this fall, it's going to put a whole lot of parents at ease every time their child boards one of these buses.
I would say overall it's not too bad for the whole school year, but we've had several mornings where it's been late.
JODI PAYNE says lately the buses have been picking her children up later and later.
You don't know if you've missed it or if it came early or if it's going to be late. You just don't know.
Several times she has reached out to the transportation department, but says it's hard to get a hold of them.
One time I remember them tracking the bus for me and telling me that it was, that it was coming, that it would be there soon, but a lot of times you can't get a hold of them.
Forcing her to make a tough decision.
I'm already at work, so like I've had to leave to go get them.
Concerns the school district is well aware of.
You might sit at a bus stop for 5-10 minutes and wonder, did I miss it? And then you're calling transportation. Well, they can get overwhelmed with those kind of calls and you might not get an answer. Now the answer's in the palm of your hand.
It's called Where's the Bus, and beginning this fall, parents will be able to create a secure account using their child's student ID. This will allow you to track your assigned buses, including routes designated for special needs. Heights Elementary School is finishing up a pilot test for the app, and one parent says it's already making a difference.
It's very convenient because it allows us to wait till the very last minute almost to get out here.
Which is why parents like PAYNE can't wait to start using it next school year.
I think it'd be awesome to be able to know where they're at. I think it'd be a huge benefit to parents. I know for me it will be.
Now, the app will not tell you if the bus has broken down or is caught in an emergency. Instead, you will only see that the bus is not moving. And that's why Heights Elementary administrators say they are going to continue sending out those type of alerts via Parent Link. Live in Lee County, Janae Muchmore, Wink News. Now.
Nothing but net and smiles, a dream come true for an Ida Baker High School student. In the team's basketball home opener, Emmanuel Oglesby took his shot and made his first basket. Wink News reporter Janae Muchmore talked to him and his team about this granted wish.
Emmanuel's there for us and we're there for him all the time.
It's not often Emmanuel Oglesby gets to step foot on the court, but when he does,
The whole gym goes nuts.
last Thursday was no exception. With the Ida Baker Bulldogs down by more than 30 points, Coach STOWE called Emmanuel into the game.
It's one of the best feelings in the world. I was on the bench at that time, but I mean, as soon as he made the basket, I had to run out for him.
Chris Trout has known Emmanuel since the 4th grade, but his involvement in Baker Buddies, which pairs students with special needs students, has given him the gift of friendship.
Man, he's one of my closest friends here.
Emmanuel has always been supportive of Chris and the basketball team.
And he's always asking me when it's game.
But one day,
He said, I want to play.
that's when Chris and other players and teachers took Emmanuel's wish to Coach STOWE.
I have a son who is on the autism spectrum. He's autistic. So when they came to me last year and said Emmanuel wanted to play basketball, it wasn't a question of if this is going to happen. It's a question of when and how do we make it happen.
Now, whether he's on the sidelines
He comes over to me, rubs my shoulder. All right, calm down.
or on the court, Emmanuel helps his team win in more ways than one. Janae Muchmore, Wink News Now.
And Coach STOWE tells us Emmanuel's next goal is to go to college.